right, welcome to Gen X Rated Thursday edition. I'm not sure what that was, but how we doing, Billy?
A glitch in the matrix. Doing good, doing good. No complaints today. Well, some complaints, but who cares?
I like your attitude. We're going to go with that for the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
We'll provide the information, but who cares?
Wow.
There's a lot going on. Getting ready for the big holiday, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Day
don't
away.
forget the Labor Day protests. So
That's right.
let's make a note of that, everybody.
I know there's a couple in St. Louis, and I don't know that it's necessarily under No Kings, but it's under that theme. And I did see it's a worldwide thing. It's not just here in the States because everybody's concerned about the direction this country's taking and taking.
As they should be.
I think you saw the leader of Portugal came out and basically, who's one of the original NATO allies, and said that Trump's clearly compromised or working with the Kremlin personally. So,
Oh, yeah. Well, Putin launched a deadly attack on Kiev last night.
uh,
Drones, missiles, and actually very upset. They considered attack on Europe because some of their I guess some of their embassy people and diplomats are housed nearby there, and they weren't injured, but they felt the shock waves. And yeah, so I think 17, 18 people were have been announced as having been killed, with I think 4 children in there. But they said they haven't gone through the rubble yet. There's probably a lot of people
well, it's
still trapped underneath there.
blatant.
But this is after Trump's big, beautiful summit where he showed up and kissed Putin's ass, and lunch didn't even get served.
No time for lunch, comrade.
I'm leaving. You know
Those
what to do.
those attacks were at night. They were resident housing, and you're basically just it's the definition of terrorism. It's scary as can be. You're sleeping, and next thing you know, you're dead. Or
Oh yeah, but the Kremlin spokesperson came out and said it was just we were simply a surgical strike on military and industrial targets.
yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah, dude, it's just like everybody lies about everything.
Yeah, you're right. And then the fallback is, well, you can't prove that, or that's AI generated, or that photo's doctored, or fill in the blank. I mean, we can't agree on anything.
Yeah, we live in a weird time.
But the reality is, we saw those buildings. Those buildings came down. Um, People were killed. I mean, and Trump's okay with it because, in his eyes, Ukraine started this.
Yeah, it's Ukraine's fault. They picked on Putin. Putin's the victim. He's being bullied.
Well, and he was on Trump was on Fox talking about, I got off my plane, he got off his plane. There's a warm feeling there. They have this relationship, and it's like
And Trump got on his knees, off the plane, on my knees.
very warm relationship, as he said.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What a fucking chump.
And to that end, I guess I'll bring up Gabbard now. But after that meeting with Putin, it was kind of strange because then people started getting fired. Some of the intelligence folk
Pretty high-ranking ones too.
just dismissed. Yeah. And they happen to be some of the top Russian experts. Why would you need that? He's our friend.
He's our friend. He knows what's good for us. We'll
And,
listen to him.
and it's starting to get a little bit wider. They like to do the Republican Democrat thing. But the fact of the matter is, this person was, she was about to be, well, she was approved by the CIA director, Radcliffe, not a Democrat, obviously,
Mhm.
not a great person in my view. But the point is, he's the CIA director. He appointed her to this prestigious European assignment. And then Gabbard, after this meeting in Alaska with Putin, they revoked her clearance. I don't understand. You guys picked her. Your guy approved her. Now she's out.
Yeah,
Wow.
none of this makes any sense.
It's just crazy. They're doing a lot of Putin's work, and it's under the guise of, Trump's getting something out of this. He's really not. Interestingly enough, they talk about him. Everything he refers to right now is kind of back in the 80s, whether it's laws of real estate, building, um, race relations. And we saw this in our own lives. But sometimes when you have that mental issue, be it dementia, be it Alzheimer's, be it rotting brain, you refer back to what you recall, right? So the memories are always there. You can talk about old time stuff, but you can't talk about anything current because it just doesn't, you can't string thoughts together.
Yeah.
It's really hard to watch a loved one go through that you have a relationship with. But they're saying like this whole decorating thing, they're trying to keep him busy, right? Because he had 3 press conferences yesterday, and it was speculated that maybe he didn't recall having the first one or the second one. So they just say, oh, sure. He's like, you know what? We should have a press conference. And the third time they're like, yeah, we should. That's a great idea.
Yeah, let's have one.
It was 200 minutes
Oh
of
my
that
God.
meeting. And then the next day we roll out and do 3 press conferences because, I mean, when was the last time you saw a president wandering around on the roof?
Yeah, you don't see that very often, that's for sure.
Odd. It's very odd behavior. We're building this ballroom that we never had before that we might host 5 times. Everything is in line with what it looks like at Mar-a-Lago. They're trying to make him comfortable.
Probably because he doesn't know where he is.
But he thinks he's at Mar-a-Lago White House.
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting that you say that because somebody on X had put out a thread positing that, like most dictators and authoritarian types, that Trump is afraid of dying. Trump feels it's out of control. That's the one thing he can't stop, that he can't slow down. His health obviously looks like it's going downhill. I mean, the bruised hands.
They compared his hand to Queen Elizabeth 2 days before she died.
Yeah.
And I think you're right.
So he's just raging against that. He's doing anything and everything he can, with these late night nonsensical tweets, just all of this bullshit. Yeah, trying to do anything and everything that he can control because he can't control what's going to happen to him. His health is declining. Looks like shit. From all accounts, smells like shit. Acts like shit. Yeah, so let's just hope the process gets sped up.
Well, and generally none of us can control that. But I will say this: when he got sick with COVID and was rushed to Walter Reed, he got the best drugs. And like he talked about, he wanted to come out in his Superman shirt and rip it open, but we had so many deaths that he was hiding and denying that they said that's probably not a good idea. But I honestly think from that point on, he was getting the best healthcare. He's getting state-of-the-art medicine that none of us have access to or could possibly afford. And now he's seeing that he's kind of weakening. There's only so much you can do when you have a bag of turds, so to speak.
Yeah.
You can't fix that.
This is very true.
And he's old. He had a great run. Yeah, he did what he wanted to. He hurt a lot of people. He's on his way to destroying our country. What's left for him to do?
I know, right? It's just, you're ticking off all the boxes. It's time to go there, Tubby. And, let's face it, that guy was never in any kind of shape.
Yeah.
He looked like a tub of shit back in the 80s. I mean, some of those videos of him trying to play volleyball or tennis, I mean, Jesus Christ, even his golf swing.
Then they started asking if he was an alpha male because he looked so feminine. They're like, is he even able to grow facial hair? Like, what's up with that? Yeah, he's disturbing. He's far from macho, and maybe avoid playing any kind of racket sport. You look ridiculous.
Yeah, seriously. And don't ever throw out the first pitch. I'm not going to say throw like a girl, but I bet you look ridiculous when you throw.
Yeah, any kind of ball play. Let's leave that out too.
Unless you're fondling Putin's balls.
Well, apparently he's got that down to a science. So good on him. I did want to bring up Susan Maneras again. She was the fired CDC chief who refused to step down. She's made a lot of headlines in the White House press corps, just asking, why would you get rid of this woman? And they said that she doesn't have the same "Make America Healthy" attitude. That's really important. Unlike RFK Jr., who has that great attitude. I mean, they asked him about that shooting, which we're going to talk about shortly. And he's blaming it on antidepressants. I mean, if we can't blame the vaccine, let's go into antidepressants, or let's just blame it on a confused person who's transgender, because that's an easy mark.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anything except the true root is that there's easy access to guns.
Gun control. Yeah, background checks seems really simple. to that point on the CDC, there's a reason why she now doesn't want to leave. And there's a great reason to keep her in her job. First of all, she was picked by the Trump administration. She was approved by heavily, dominant Republican Party. She's their person. The only reason why, she was asked to leave is because she wouldn't fall in line. 4 other people did resign, senior leaders at the CDC, based on political interference in their work, budget cuts that were super extreme, and then the spreading of misinformation. We talked about the other day about the shooting up of the CDC building,
which Trump never commented on.
Well, of course not, right? Ridiculous. The 4 people that left, interestingly enough, the chief medical officer, the director of infectious disease, and the director of immunization and respiratory diseases. Probably not the greatest time. I mean, COVID's surging almost to the highs of last winter. So you'd think you'd want these people in place doing the research to help keep the American public safe. This regime takes the opposite approach and says she's not supporting what we think makes America healthy again. I don't even know what that is.
And they want to limit access to vaccines now.
Yes. COVID vaccine no longer available unless you're under, or if you're, it's no longer available if you're under 65 years of age, unless you have a specific medical condition that they deem high risk. It's up to them. Children are included in this. And again, I don't understand why we're taking away something that was so successful in keeping people from dying of this variant. It's always changing. That's why you do the research.
I have no idea. My guess is that they really believe in herd mentality or herd immunity, and that everybody gets it. Nobody's going to get it. It's going to be great. So yeah, I'm sure that's going to work out great. And again, I don't know, what the variant is. If it's the same variant where it just comes on like the common cold, and you're miserable for a few days, but there's probably some long-term DNA damage done that we don't know about, especially if you've had it before.
Lung, heart, and brain with the long COVID, yes.
Mm-hmm. But deep down, in the end, I don't think they really give a shit. I think, that they're scoring points with all their anti-vacciner people out there, the anti-vac whack jobs. And I was reading an interesting article, and I think it was in Vox earlier, that the public confidence in vaccines has gone way down. Missouri
is under the herd immunity with all the people that got exemptions in kindergarten. Now we don't have that. So great for the parents of the kids who don't believe in this sort of thing. But when you go visit grandma and she ends up sick and dead, you may have had a cause in that.
Yeah, maybe. You killed grandma. Great job, kid.
It affects all of us, I guess, is my point.
Well, it does. It does. It's a public health issue. And here's the thing, man. It's just, the bigger picture is it's a it's a disbelief in science.
I know, that's disheartening.
It's really disheartening because, we were so close with some of those vaccines that were in development, and then, shutting it down. So, hopefully, those, all that data and the people that compiled it will go to Europe or overseas and continue working on it. So at least it'll be available for humanity. You probably won't be able to get it here in this country, but dude, I mean, Putin couldn't have picked a better agent than Trump. I mean, the chaos that we've seen in the last 6.5 months, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely just insane, and it's mind-boggling.
They're like, wait till the midterms. And then people were like, what? It's only been 7 months. Like, we're not going to make it that far.
Well, yeah, and who knows what they've got planned for that. Now, I know that California, the referendum on redistricting in California is going to go to a vote. That's been approved to move forward.
Listen, these guys are dopes. Not to interrupt you, but the way they redistrict Texas, they may lose 5 seats now.
Yeah, they are dopes. They're fucking dopes. Maybe that's the saving grace. I don't know. But, there's no adults in the room. There's no serious people in this administration. And it's just, they're operating on Trump's whims.
Well, and to your point about the adults in the room, you had Milley, you had Kelly in the past. One of the Congress people asked Hegseth straight up if he'd been given authority to let them shoot citizens with the National Guard out there. And she said, she made that comment that Trump in the past, in his first term, had asked about doing that. And they were like, no, you can't do that. Are you crazy? No, that's not a thing.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Not even in the leg?
Yeah. And then she said, well, this is, in a book, it was written, the information is here that this was a thing. And he's like, don't believe everything you read, but wouldn't answer the question, which just is basically saying, yes, they have the authority.
Yeah, he's a slippery son of a bitch. But, if it's that top secret and it's put on Signal, we'll all find out. So no worries there. Leak-proof Pete.
He is a gem. The bottom line on the CDC is they're fighting for public health over this political agenda. And that's basically what it is. I mean,
It is, yeah. And, again, I don't know if it's based on they want to just thin the herd, because you got too many riders and eaters, too many people using up valuable resources. We don't really need them. We just want healthy white Christians.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's un-American. It's inhumane, and it's stupid. This whole agenda is just fucking stupid.
It makes us all look pretty slow, frankly. I mean, What are we doing here? We know better. We turn our backs on science, yet first we deny we went to the moon. Now we're putting, housing on the moon.
Yeah.
Come on. Unbelievable.
And are we going to have the have and the have-nots on the moon too? The people that are living on the mountaintops with a view of the sun, and the people that are stuck on the dark side in eternal darkness in the crater.
Freezing over there. Gosh.
I mean, Jesus.
To that point, and I want to just finish on the CDC, and we probably didn't hear about this. I didn't hear about it till recently. The CDC in July, I believe, started scaling back on surveillance programs for foodborne illnesses. They used to test 8 pathogens. Now we're going to just test for 2, that being Salmonella and E. coli. We didn't even talk about Listeria, which months ago we talked about the boar's head outbreak. 10 people literally died from Listeria. 60 other people were sickened by it and were fortunate enough not to die. And we're literally not monitoring that anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's insane. I listened to an article, and this was a while ago, several months ago, but just, dude, if you'd listen to this, you would never eat lunch meat again. It's the conditions that this shit is made of. And, we always thought boar's head was like, oh, that's the gold standard, boar's head.
Yeah.
Dude, they have so many safety violations. They just don't give a shit. That stuff is just horrific. You can barely classify that as food.
Really?
It's just a bunch of parts and shit thrown into a blender and mixed up with a bunch of filler and, pressed into the shape of what have you, into a blob of, a loaf. Yeah. And, and I would laugh when I would see those commercials for that one sub place. I don't want to be sued, so I'm not going to say, but they're like, oh, you can see them slice it right in front of you. You're slicing the same shit that you're getting at the other place that's already just sliced it in the little drawer there that they're pulling out. It comes off that same loaf of pseudo meat. Well,
and it's so gross because that's the only thing I recall back in the day, like Arby's. It was, I'm sure all in our days pounded some Arby's, the meat.
Loved Arby's.
But basically, it's like you said, it's a fluid. They put it in a casing, it hardens, and then they slice it up. It's just like parts of stuff. It's so gross. It tastes delicious. Don't get me wrong, but if you know
MSG and sodium,
love it.
Love it. Yeah.
Most companies would have been bankrupted by killing off people. People stayed off Tylenol for a while it was being poisoned, and that wasn't even the company's fault.
Yeah.
The Boar's Head, all kinds of signage at my grocery store, and people just love it. But look out for the Listeria, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I ain't eating that. I haven't eaten lunch meat in quite some time.
Well, you're lucky on that front. The 2 they are testing for, Salmonella and E. coli, which is great. Salmonella, your chicken comes with it anyway. We've talked about this again in past episodes where it's only a certain amount on your chicken. And they say, well, you can have that because you're going to cook it off. You're not eating it raw. But the handling of it, it gets on a cutting board, it splatters onto your counter, whatever it is. It's like not great. And we're going to test for that. We already know it's there. Test for something that we don't know is there then, if you're only going to choose 2.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, those are both pretty serious, so at least they're still testing for those. But
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, man. The bar's pretty low, I guess.
It definitely is. Speaking of low bars,
The man that doesn't know the difference between a pull-up and a chin-up.
yeah, yeah. And the couch guy, and then Guy Smiley on the back
And
end.
then Nosferatu.
Yeah, let's get that tie down a little bit lower. It looks a little juvenile, and you can almost see the clip on it. Okay, come on.
Oh, but he's so happy to be hanging with the cool guys.
Oh, I know, right?
Hey, guys, wait for me. Hey, hey.
Well, I only bring up this stupid trio because the whole Union Station takeover that we're going through right now is because these three guys got heckled. They wanted this great photo op, and what happened was people kept calling him couch fucker, yelling at Hegseth. I mean, maybe Stephen Miller thought that was funny. I can't really tell what's going on in this picture, though. Hegseth looks like he wants to have somebody beaten.
Fight me, bro.
Yeah. But that's the whole reason going into Union Station. That's part of the concern going in there is that we've seen this blueprint before. They come into DC, they take over the streets, they put their police on the streets, they become the police force now, and then now they've taken over Amtrak, which I'm going to go down here to this guy, the lumberjack climber guy, Duffy. That's your transportation secretary. They came out and took a bunch of credit for they're taking over. Amtrak used to run Union Station. Now our federal government's going to run it. The Secretary of Defense, or the Secretary of Transportation's there. Everything that he announced that they were doing for Amtrak, which really didn't sound like a whole lot, not even new cushions.
Well, they did put into service their new high-speed trains.
Okay, but
however,
go ahead.
They can't go their full speed because the rail infrastructure is still set up for the old model trains. So they said now it takes longer to get from Boston to DC than it does with the regular trains. So,
the key word that you said was infrastructure. This was part of the infrastructure bill of Biden. None of this was something that these guys initiated or even funded and supported. In fact, when they started cutting that, maybe if they didn't cut the infrastructure budgeted money that Congress approved under Biden, those rails wouldn't be so shitty, and you could maybe step up. I mean, I know you've seen the Japanese rail system. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
The speed is unbelievable. We've talked about the Italian one. I'm not talking about speed necessarily, but getting you from point A to point B in a very pleasant way. I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Oh, it was great. And that train to Rome was fast.
It was pretty fast, yeah. I'll give you that.
But you didn't even feel like you were going that fast. It was amazing.
Yeah. And you had comfortable seats. They still offer food. Some of it's self-serve. You want an espresso? Here's the machine. Go.
The Italian roast, yep.
And they did have stewards or whatever you want to call them. It was just a really pleasant experience. If you've flown recently, which I know you have, not a pleasant experience.
Not that pleasant.
And it's not only just wings catching on fire or engines blowing out, or maybe you left your charger on in the overhead and now we're covered in a smoke cabin. None of this stuff was happening 8 months ago. I don't understand the correlation to why things are so off the rails, so to speak, with our transportation system.
Because you've put an incompetent boob in charge of it. That's why.
But
that
goes to maintenance. I mean, is it an attitude with the airlines that with this regime that you can do what you feel like? I mean, is this Homer walking around without pants? Where
Don't you hate pants?
I do.
Yeah, you definitely do. It's short seasons all year round. I know it's cold when you're wearing pants.
For sure.
But yeah, apparently so. I mean, the message is cost cutting. Those inspections, don't worry about that. That's fine. What are the odds?
Flying used to be super safe, and I'm not saying it isn't safe now, but we've had too many occurrences that really kind of make you a little bit concerned.
Very concerning. What did they decide? Did you ever see anything about the Air India crash?
I didn't hear what the final say was. The one guy did flip the switch. The other guy asked him why he flipped the switch. And again, as we know, that by the time he called him on it and they flip the switch back on, they didn't have enough thrust to be able to get that plane off the ground. That was
Yeah, to keep it from the ground. But yeah, and and again, it takes, you don't just accidentally bump that. That's a spring-loaded switch. So you've got to pull it, flip it. So that's crazy. But yeah, it seemed like they kind of, I don't know, left some details out maybe, or didn't release some details about which pilot took which part of it, and I don't know. But yeah, that was horrific.
We're not really about getting to the bottom of things. It's just not that important anymore. It happened, wasn't here. Not my problem.
Yeah, well, we're just lurching from one outrage to the next.
I know. Well, and then I should just put his picture up because he's the most outrageous of all.
Look at that guy. Jesus Christ. I thought RFK Jr. looked bad.
Oh, they have a picture of both of them, and they're like, these guys are making the country healthy again? Good Lord, man.
Starting to look like the Crypt Keeper.
Exactly. So we talked about the postal international postage on Tuesday. I did want to add today that now Mexico is halting shipments to the U.S. Again, I don't know where we're going to be getting our things since we don't make anything here. We talk about it, but we are driving away manufacturers in this country because it's just not affordable to them. It's easier to go someplace else. China will fill any void that we leave, and people are running to them, whether it's India or Brazil or fill in the blank.
Oh yeah, we're effectively just taking ourselves right out of the equation. We really don't matter anymore.
It's pretty bizarre.
And people are going to be pissed when they figure out that their online orders are going to be facing tariffs now too.
Insane. There was big talk of all these trade deals that Trump's been making. Japan was the next one up, but the negotiator from Japan's not coming because there is no deal.
Mm-hmm.
So more fake news out of the White House. The people from Greenland. So it was what the Danish, right? Is that who owns Greenland? They're coming
yesterday, right?
Yeah, they're coming to Washington because JD, his policy guys over there, in his mask and glasses, pretending to be an influencer and trying to turn the country against itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they summoned the envoys, and I don't think they showed up, did they?
I don't think so.
I'm sure somebody at the White House was like, ignore that. But they were not happy. Denmark was not happy with that at all.
How could you be? I mean, you guys are just messing with the wrong people time after time.
Oh, I know. It's insane.
The last thing on numbers is this, and this is not a joke. They're revising all the inflation numbers based on what they wanted to say. So
again, dude,
revising to meet projections. What we project, that's what we're going to revise it to. Go ahead.
You can put anything into a report, but again, people realize when they look at their grocery bill, what they're paying for gas, what they're paying for their utilities, realize that they're full of shit.
It's insane.
I mean, I can put it, I can, what is it? I could put a guarantee on a bull's ass.
I could, yeah. I'm going to stick my head up the bull's ass, okay? I can stamp a guaranteed on a box, but yeah.
Yeah, I butchered Tommy Boy. It's been a while. But, the point is, yeah, you can put anything into a report. It doesn't make it so.
Yeah. Well, and that's why the labor lady was fired, because they didn't like her numbers. The revisions were made up. Then they come back and they're like, well, they weren't that bad. But you know what? We're going to make better numbers to make Trump look better. So we're in.
Well, the average American is going to figure it out.
Yeah. You can't help it.
Can't hide that.
I wanted to move on because this covers a couple different things. We had another shooting yesterday in Minnesota at a Catholic school. And the shooter was 23-year-old Robin Westman. 17 others were injured. 2 were killed, an 8 and a 10-year-old. They were literally praying in a pew when they were killed. Here's the kid here, the shooter. And it's really strange because he had his manifesto online. He was making videos on YouTube. He was putting this information out there as to what he wanted to do. He showed his guns. He showed his ammo. And then RFK is blaming antidepressants. RFK Jr. says, I walk through an airport and I can tell these kids aren't right. You can see it in their body language. You can see it in their faces, how they socially interact. Like, that has nothing to do with this.
Look at that guy's face and tell me that he's right. I mean, it looks like he's the same color as a beet, and it looks like a catcher's mitt that's been pounded.
Yes, pounded and pounded. Mm-hmm. So we had several people come out offering prayer.
Oh, yeah, it's always the thoughts in prayer, and it's too soon to really get into this right now. Now's not the time.
Well, even people on the right are starting to ask about gun control. I mean, this is an issue, and it always has been. A couple of people came out and said, about prayer, like, this is silly. We need gun control. Stop with the prayer thing. And then, of course,
those kids were literally praying when they were shot to death.
I know, horrific.
Oh, the power of prayer. We're prayer warriors.
Yes, that's exactly right. And
I'm not making light of it. I'm just saying that these people are fucking buffoons, and we do need gun control. We've needed it for a long time. And, maybe now that the fact that it happened in a church, although it didn't really create much of an outrage when it happened in South Carolina in a black church, but, maybe little. And again, I'm not going to say, anything against these poor kids that were shot. It's ridiculous. But if that's what it takes to get attention on this, to get the Republicans to actually fucking pay attention, then, maybe something good can come out of this horrific situation. It's just unbelievable that it's been allowed to go on this long.
It is pretty crazy. Thoughts and prayers only go so far, and it's definitely not going far enough. I'm going to pop her up real quick because this is part of that conversation. J.D. Vance wasn't happy with the people disrespecting prayer. He blames the left for attacking prayer as a response instead of when people want gun control. And he says, we're praying. Then they say that's not enough. Even somebody like Gowdy has comfort in the fact that these kids are now with Jesus. Not good enough for me. I'm sorry.
No, it's not good enough. You can pray. Maybe what if we just pray for gun control? How about that? Can we do that? And there's nothing wrong with prayer. Nobody is knocking prayer.
Absolutely.
The power of prayer, sure, but it's not going to stop fucking an automatic rifle. It's not going to stop these insane people that are just out to kill.
So the press conference today with KKKaroline, she said, because they ask her, the softballs come out, they just toss them to her. The insensitive and disrespectful comments to tens of millions of Americans of faith who believe in the power of prayer and who believe that prayer works. That's great, but maybe not right after this catastrophic event where lives were lost. You can't really you can pray for the families, but that's not going to necessarily make change that we want.
Prayer works. Children were literally praying when they were shot to death.
I know.
Prayer works. You know what? Michael Jackson's estate called. They want his nose back, first of all. I can't unsee that. Every time I see her,
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, she's pretty terrible. I'm not really sure why she's even in the job. They did this article with her. I know her and Trump have a really special relationship. I don't know why. I mean, they look like the perfect couple. I will say that.
She does like an older man.
This is true, and
that's why she's so good at handling those softballs.
Good one. Zing. So in the same breath where she's going after the left about not respecting prayer, which I don't think was their point, she sits up there. Too. Yes, she sits there and talks about all the savings. Labor Day is coming up, so Trump, he's all about the average American worker. He does everything for the American worker. 5-year low on gas prices, she said today. They got rid of the Green New Scam, which is, for environmentalists, who needs it?
The one that was providing a lot of good paying jobs too. Let's get rid of that. We don't need that.
Good point. Make America affordable again is what Trump's doing. Also, savings at the pump every month. At the end of the month, you have money left over in your budget, she said.
Yeah, but don't worry, your utility bill will eat that right up and then some. So.
But her point, it always comes down to Biden. Oh, the opposite of what you had with Biden. I don't remember having these issues under Biden, frankly. And it wasn't about Biden. It was about the people Biden surrounded himself with. It's about the people that actually do the work. Yeah, he's at the top of the pyramid. I get that. But to think that he's running stuff any more than Trump is, give me a break. It's just
Yeah, I mean, you had a functioning federal government made up of dedicated civil servants, as apolitical
yes,
civil servants that knew how to do their job, that did it to the best of their ability, and that's how things functioned. And every day wasn't lurching from one shit show to the next. And I didn't have to see Biden every day. I didn't have to.
you're right. I love that part.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent point. I wanted to just go back to the shooting yesterday because it wasn't just about prayer that they're avoiding here with this. We talked about this guy before. I know that you know old Tommy Fugate. Let me put his picture up there. Oh, there's Tommy. Tommy was a big. It was an intern at the Heritage Foundation. He had his own lawn company for a while. He's 22 years old, and he was a former intern, but now he's the head of counterterrorism in this country. This guy right here. Maybe I should put up another picture of him where he looks a little bit more Republican and happy. That's Tommy.
Yeah, dude, that's on par with Mr. Burns putting that canary in charge of the plant. That's Canary Montgomery Burns.
That's right. C. Montgomery Burns. This guy, there's an $18 million grant to help communities with extreme violent extremism. Sadly, most of that extremism comes from inside our country. Those are not brown people coming over the wall. These are people in our country. So there's a reason we did this and have this. I mean, under Obama, we were looking into white nationalists and the extremists in our country because it's a real thing. Infiltrating the military, infiltrating the police departments, sheriff departments, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scary stuff.
They were told to back off.
So he's at the head of the Center for Prevention Programs, prevent hate, hate-fueled attacks, school shootings, and other targeted violence. This was a priority, and obviously it should be a priority because we see it more times than not, which we really shouldn't have to look at this day in and day out. More to the point of that department, he made a shift. He changed the focus from domestic extremism to drug cartels and border security. I think we do enough for border security in that we've got troops down there. We've given them a half a mile to a mile radius where they can shoot to kill if they deem so. They've got the power. I think we've got the border covered. What we don't have is the extremism that's going in within our country.
Yeah.
Again, this shooter was on YouTube with his manifesto. He had a Russian patch on, which they thought was odd. He speaks Russian, which was also odd. He shared his guns and ammo. On his ammo, he had things like 6 million wasn't enough, a lot of anti-Hispanic, anti-Black commentary from this guy. And we're going to blame antidepressants. But my point is, all this stuff was online. This guy fired 75% of his staff, Cowboy Gill up here. You had 80 people that were working on these projects. Now you're down to less than 20. So the fact that this kid literally said, first day of school, assembly of kids, avoid parents because they might be able to shoot back. Everything was online for weeks. We know kids go back to school early before Labor Day. We're just not monitoring it. Is that due to indifference or just Second Amendment rights? Like, what are we doing here?
I don't know. A little bit of both, I guess. I remember the dude that shot up the movie theater in Colorado. Bought 10,000 rounds of ammo online from a place that was located here near us. That didn't trip any alarm bells.
Pretty amazing. And he had a bunch of other stuff too for bomb making and stuff. I remember when they went into his apartment, that took days because he had set up booby traps for everything. Let me also say he was white. Yeah. Crazy looking, but he was a white guy.
Yeah. So, we got to preserve that Second Amendment
for white people.
Yeah.
That seems to be the theme. But yeah, this kid's doing a terrible job. He's overmatched. He's 22 years old. I don't see any reason why he should be in that job protecting us. I don't feel any safer by it.
Yeah,
And
the Canary would do a better job.
yeah, and he probably wouldn't do any time either.
Yeah.
So, listen, you always say cruelty is the point. Maybe indifference is also one of the points of how we got to where we are today. I don't know, but I do find it extremely disturbing that nobody seems to really want to make any change when something's not working. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. I'm going to put this up real quick. Because the CDC is losing people, because we're not testing for stuff. This is the New World screwworm. It's a larvae. It's very gross. This is what it does. And the females can drop about 200 eggs. It's usually on livestock. We've stopped taking some livestock from Mexico because it's come up from South America and the Caribbean, and it's getting closer. We did have a person in the U.S. contacted it coming back from El Salvador. Here's a reason not to send people to El Salvador, okay? Then they come back here and they got the screwworm, which is extremely disturbing. It feeds on the tissue and flesh of warm-blooded animals. Again, mostly livestock, but it could happen to you, not you in particular. It's an insect thing, so it's not like it's contagious, but why would you bring that into your, life? Why would you want that in your life? It's extremely painful. There's a really high mortality if it's not treated. And I don't know how you would even catch the fact that you had that, but it can come through the nasal, brain eating, anything warm that it can feed on. It's all about.
Is that is that what's living in RFK Jr.'s brain? Is that the worm in his brain, the screwworm?
I don't think so. Or he'd be dead.
Oh, damn.
But, I'm just saying, like, this is the wrong time to start messing with the CDC. This is the wrong time to make America healthy again on diet. I won't say allegedly, I don't even know how to phrase it, but people have been going through Aldi and checking on their products. There's a lot of stuff at Aldi's that is biologically engineered ingredients. I'm not saying that's the devil or that's the worst thing, but you'd want to know. Anything from salads to just plain fish, chicken Alfredo, any of that stuff. And once it was brought up, now they're putting the labels on. So I know people love Aldi's. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, again, I want the information. Let me choose. This is America.
Oh,
yeah. You don't care about that? Fine. But at least let me know that it's in there, and then I can make my own choice whether I want to do it or not. So
yeah, I would agree with that.
It's just kind of a thing. We went through a lot of the negative stuff. I did have some positive things that I was going to show or bring up. We talked about an Iowa State Senate where they flipped that seat. They had a supermajority for the Republicans, no longer. This was Caitlin Dray, Sioux City, and she won by about 11 points, which is a 20-plus point swing in Iowa.
And yeah, that's an encouraging. And, that's the state where right before the election that well-known pollster predicted I was going to go that way. And then when it didn't, Elon, Trump came out and wanted to go after her. But you know what? Maybe it did go that way.
Yeah.
Maybe Iowa's.
And again, we get to this point where we see it with the Epstein files, which are not going away. Sue the woman. Take her to court. Let's get into discovery. Then we can get all the information out. It's the same reason why Melania is not suing the guy that said she slept with Epstein.
Yeah.
Which was Biden's kid. Take him to court. Let's get into discovery. Let's find out.
Yeah, let's bring it all out.
How did you get that Epstein, not Epstein. How'd you get that Einstein visa? I mean, come on, man. You don't even speak English very well now, but I'm supposed to believe you speak 8 languages? Come on.
Oh, God.
Ridiculous. Anyway, the positive was that Iowa kicking butt. I did see, we talked about the Missouri congressman the other day. He's still getting harassed in a nice way. They're just asking pointed questions. He believes Trump really cares about people. That set the crowd off. They were like, he doesn't care about any of us. Are you insane? So it's nice to see the pushback. they're closing Alligator Alcatraz. I know that DeSantis is going to appeal it because he wants to keep his base involved, but he doesn't care. Within days, that place is going to be empty. I think right now they have 300 to 350 detainees. They made their money. He doesn't care. It cost $250 million of the taxpayer money. Now, if it stayed in Florida and we kept bringing people in, yes, that was going to be on the state of Florida taxpayers to pay it. But to make that federal prison, whatever you want to call it, detainment camp, we paid $250 million. The people that set it up covered their signage. They covered their serial numbers. We don't know where the money went, but it's gone. So they don't care. Close it up. We're going to put another base in northern Florida. We've got ones in Texas. We're using Fort Bliss, which was a Japanese internment camp.
Yeah, the irony there. Jesus.
Crazy. So the good news is that crap hole will be closing. Also, the Subway sandwich thrower that Judge Weinbach's tried to indict twice. No go. Nobody. I mean, they say you can indict a ham sandwich, but you can't indict a Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
They said no. It's ridiculous.
And two grand juries.
And you saw the video. I mean, so what? He whipped a sandwich at the guy. It was from like 5 feet away. It doesn't hurt. And don't be such a baby.
Yeah. Seriously. So fragile.
I mean, she's so upset that you can't touch a 15-year-old. And I'm sure she heard that from Trump. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
My other news that was halfway decent was that Garcia can't be deported until at least October. So they're giving them some time because that Holman's not letting go. He said he's got his teeth into this one. Then he started slandering the kid by saying he was, everything from a trafficker to a smuggler to a wife beater to fill in the blank. Such garbage. And that guy just has some really bad problems mentally.
Oh, I know. Let's take a deep dive into his background. Let's see what he's been up to over the course of all his years.
How many bodies have disappeared? The downside is they picked him up. ICE picked him up. They can't deport him yet to Uganda, but he's in a detention center in Virginia. So it's like he got 72 hours after 160 days to see his family, and then they picked him up when he went to his hearing. As we all know, you go to the hearing, they call off the hearing, and then you get arrested by ICE. He's now being detained in Virginia, but at least he's here, and at least people are able to, be in touch with him. He is getting representation. ICE won't let go, but I don't think this is going to go well for them. People have had enough. People are coming out in their communities, and when ICE shows up, they went after a couple families, and the neighbors came out and said, "Don't open the door. You don't have to. They don't have a warrant." And they're like, "We have a warrant." They're like, "Show us the warrant."
Let's see the warrant. Yeah.
That's it. Well, they couldn't produce it, and then they say, "You hate America," and then they leave.
Fucking jerk offs.
People are fighting back. Part of a happier ending for me was the Tesla sales in Europe are down 40%. There is a company whose electric cars have tripled, and maybe you should venture a guess where those cars are made.
I'm going to guess China.
China, yes.
Yeah.
We can't have those Chinese cars here because they won't allow it. But
They looked awesome. I saw that on TikTok. They looked amazing and affordable too. I think they were like, what, 25 grand?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the engineering and stuff was crazy. The things they thought of were insane. And I'm no, Chinese apologist by any means, but I like a good product that works as opposed to some of the garbage that we're putting out there.
Oh my God.
But whatever, we don't do electric anymore. It's all fossil fuel. If I could just shovel coal into my car, it'd be awesome. It doesn't seem to work that way though, and it's upsetting.
It's upsetting.
Oh my goodness. I did want to point out that today, in fact, is let me get off that screwworm. That was really disturbing.
That's disturbing.
Today is the 60th anniversary of this occurrence. It was the Great March on Washington. I mean, you look at this photo and what's it make you think of? I mean, it makes me think of Trump's inauguration. I mean, it ruined everything. He had nobody there, but then he was like, I had the biggest ever. This is what 200,000 people look like on the grounds for the March on Washington. Uh, here's a reason why they were marching. I mean, this is one of many. Jobs and freedom. That looks like a black and a white hand. If you look through the crowd, it's a mix of everybody. I think everybody knew that this was an issue, but I guess part of my issue is that you can say anything's faked now. You can say the numbers aren't right. You can say that photo was doctored. This was before you could doctor photos, and this is legit. I'm going to go back to it because there's a big difference when Trump put up his inauguration to see that compared to this.
These are Trump's parade.
I mean, I don't know. It's just frustrating that we can't agree on bullshit anymore. But this was 62 years ago. It gives me hope that we can kind of get back to that. To your point, on the 1st, there will be rallies all around the country and the world against this. And it's not even necessarily no kings, but it's, no tyrants, no dictators, no bullshit.
Yeah.
Basically, yes. I would say you're right on that. So my happy ending is that we're almost to the holiday weekend that's supposed to be for laborers. Hopefully they'll get their due respect and people will turn out to at least show their disgust for what's happening.
I hope so. I know we'll be at one of them. I haven't decided which one yet, but
I'm not sure.
And I'm sure Vern will be at one, so maybe we'll meet up with Vern.
That would be nice. Always a pleasure to see Vern. But yeah, I feel like, I had this conversation with a friend who was, I don't want to say negative. He was despondent about the direction, about how people treat one another, just the state of the union, so to speak. And I was trying to be very positive in my responses because I feel like we've kind of hit the tipping point where people are done with the bullshit. Maybe that guy's sick and goes away, whatever. But it's everything under him too. I think people are tuning out of KKKaroline's lies. It's just too much. People are tuning out from RFK Jr. and his, I put on my glasses and I could see that kid's soul. He wasn't right. Antidepressants. It wasn't like this before. The made up numbers about autism. There was tremendous research done, I believe, in Denmark on vaccinations. There's no tie into it as far as autism. One guy says it. He was rebuked harshly in our country, but RFK is a believer. So the person that he put in charge of vaccinations is an anti-vaxxer. You can't win. So
you really can't. And, look at RFK's track record.
Terrible.
I
mean, he hasn't been the
stealing
same.
A dead bear.
I mean, I'm just saying, he couldn't study, he couldn't do anything. He took heroin and he was an amazing student.
Yeah, he's got a worm in his brain. The Kennedy family is fucking completely done with that guy. What did he do? He blew up a whale, a dead whale. He made off with a dead bear. So yeah, I wouldn't trust anything that guy has to say.
I guess my point is that people are getting tired of it. The Howard Lutnicks, nobody wants to be gaslit all the time. It's okay when things are going well for you, but once you start losing your health care, once you start losing your work, once your bills are out of control, once your student loans, they're coming after you, et cetera, fill in the blank. It's hard to really just sit back and enjoy listening to being lied to.
Yeah, by, uber wealthy cabinet members who are friends of Trump and just enriching themselves and gorging on the corruption.
Exactly.
So yeah, it makes it a little hard to swallow.
Well, and I'm sorry that I didn't bring my paper because on the front of the paper today, there's a business in town, real estate moguls, Lux Apartments. The three brothers, or the two brothers and their partner.
Yeah.
They've been under investigation and they've been sued multiple times due to their building practices. I'm not going to go too deep into this.
Yeah, there's one right by me.
Yes. Well, they were represented by Pam Bondi's brother. Maybe you remember him. He was going to run as head of the lawyers out of D.C. I think he got, or was that J.D. Vance's brother? I think Bondi was going to appoint her brother to something. He's a lawyer. Anyway, he's their lawyer. And then miraculously, the feds came in and Pam Bondi dropped the suit against the brothers and that whole company of Lux. What they will do is pay back the money that they grifted from the local tax authority. I bet there's a lot of people that did things criminally that would be happy to pay back for their sins to avoid jail time. That doesn't happen to the average person. These guys got off scot-free. They're willing to pay back the money that they took. I'm sure they made more than what they took anyway. And then they're still allowed to continue on in their business ways. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, you'd be a fool to rent from them. I mean, they're the list of complaints and abuses against them is it's fucking long as can be. I mean, tenants hate living in those places. And I watched them building it, man. They had, I swear to God, they had like 16-year-old immigrant kids working on that place. Not that there's anything wrong with those kids. It's not them, but that was definitely not a union construction project.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just ridiculous. And even at night, I mean, they would be in there like drywalling, and I don't know, man, those places, they've all got problems, but you pay a premium to live the Lux life, baby, but no thanks.
Yeah. Well, I guess just to the point that the corruption is very real. It's who you know. Bondi's really not doing her job when she's just chiming in on this kind of stuff. This was in local court. This was something that would have been taken care of in our district, and instead the feds come in and just dismiss it and go back to what you're doing. And I'm sure the lawyers get paid, and Bondi will probably get a nice check when she tries to run for something next.
Oh, I'm sure. It's just, yeah, there's no rule of law for the regular people in this country.
Not for the rich, only for
the rich. Yeah,
I agree, 110%. I'm going to end on the note of get out on Monday. It is Labor Day. Let's respect the laborers of all shades. They show up every day and consciously do their job, as opposed to just grifting on people, which is what the cool guys do. They don't pay taxes, and they take your money from your back pocket. Let's celebrate those that do go to work, that help build this country. Unlike KKKaroline, we have a lot of respect for those people. She can talk it, but she also owes for her campaign of almost $400,000, and they said today that her net worth is about $7 million. So pay your debts. Make sure the workers get paid. That goes for Trump too. Doesn't pay his contractors. And be better, people. All right.
Yeah.
So
and give Michael Jackson his nose back.
For sure. Stop lying to me. Anyway, I think we did pretty good today, and we kept it under the hour. So
yeah, good job.
As always, I appreciate your input and just listening to me ramble.
I'm always happy to spout off. So thank you.
Yeah, well, I'll re-listen to this and see if you make me laugh this time. All right.
Okay.
Good stuff. All right. Well, hopefully I'll catch you later today.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. You have a good day. All right. See ya.
Yeah.